I just got home from work. It is 4:21 in the afternoon and I'm exhausted, mentally draining day, but I'm here and I'm getting a little hungry. I had a small lunch and then I had like a snack of celery later in the afternoon, but getting kind of hungry. And I think if I remember, I think tonight I was going to have some chicken, and that takes a little while. So, what I figured is I'm going to put that into the oven, get that cooking, and then I need to do my chores. So today is cleaning the bathroom, so it's the splash zone for doing zone cleaning. So I'm finally getting into zone cleaning. I'm going to try it out for the next few weeks, but I am doing the bathrooms, which I'd say shouldn't take that long. It's mainly cleaning like the counter and stuff like that. But time to get some chicken in the oven and then time to clean. I never done this before, but I am trying a new recipe and it talks about salt brining your chicken, patting it dry, and then throwing it in the oven. So we're going to try that out. And I'll be also having is rice pilaf and the roasted vegetables that I baked a few days ago. I wanted to chat a little bit about my game plan for tonight. So my edits are off, so I don't need to worry about that for right now. And what I have going on, I'm using some different spice blends with salt. So there's a Southwest, a Memphis, a Caribbean, and a Cajun. So I'm going to put these on the chicken. So just to show you what I'm doing here. But so he got stuck. But so I'm thinking about what I need to do. So I need to do the overview of Act 1 and 2 and get that kind of netted out. Because I need to know what I need to do in those acts to kind of get the framework of my plot. And with that, then I need to go into and kind of get the first, I like the idea from Story Origin is to get the first like 5 scenes fleshed out before you actually start writing. And so that is kind of going to be my game plan. Flipping the chicken over. And with that, I'm like, there's so many different like structures and whatnot. It's really hard to know what works and for like, I guess, what story. Because every story will be different, right? This one's like really salty. And I have an idea where I want this story to go, but I'm like, I don't know if my characters are like enough for what I'm thinking. So I really need to dive deeper into the characters and like their character journey, right? So that is something I struggle with the most. And along with that is description, which I did buy a used book on description and setting, and I'm excited to start reading that because that is something, I'm not a very descriptive writer. It's because I want to get to the meat of it. I want to get to the plot where the action happens. And so I'm excited to try to improve that as well. So I really want to get those first 5 scenes plus the last scene really flushed out. And then hopefully once I have that, then the rest will be kind of go in between. But on my wall, I did put up a plotting wall. And so I'm excited to kind of just play around with that and start putting the scenes. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing, is putting the scenes there and giving the framework of what I want to do as I like come up with ideas. So it'll be a work in progress. We'll see how this works, but trying something different on this story, and we'll see if it's a yay or a nay. There we have it. That's what my meal turned out, and here's the leftover chicken. I mean, it looks very tender, so we'll see. I finally done with dinner, and I know it's getting late. It's 7 o'clock. I normally don't eat dinner this late, but I got home late, had to do the cleaning, so that's that, which I don't know how people do it. And since I go to bed early as well, that just makes my time to write a lot less, since luckily I work it out in the morning, but I don't know, is it better to write in the morning and work out when I get home? I'm not sure, but I'm here. I'm gonna sit down, get my notebook out, and start plotting Act 2, what I kind of want to go through the main things and get that going. Hey, I got lots to do and not enough time. Don't mind the crazy hair. I have my headphones in, but I just spent 45 minutes and I'm doing my task block tracking, and I'm getting a lot of ideas, and I think also the music, right? I'm listening to the Brain FM, the focus, and then the creativity. And I don't know, I tell you, that music, it does something. I had a lot of creativity happening in my mind, and there. And so I'm using a lot of different things, and it's providing more and more, I would say, like scene ideas of what I could do, which is good because I'm very always light and I only do like the major plot points. So this is good. So I still actually never finished reading this because when I got it, I was very new at writing and it just blew my mind. I just couldn't understand it, all the words, all that stuff. But now, after several years of writing, I get where it's coming from. And I haven't picked it up since. And so I'm actually diving into this, and it's actually really interesting. For the beats that are in Save the Cat, they don't actually kind of follow like the main, like major 8 beats or plot points, whatever you want to call them. They're kind of different. And same with Superstructure, has additional things. So I was going to say I have the KM Wylands, but this isn't. Let me grab it from my cart. I got Structuring Your Novel. Haven't read it, but I've picked it up. And she goes through like the 7, 8 major plot points. I don't know if she has the inciting incident, so it might be less than that. But so she goes over like the main ones that are more, I guess, hero's journey, I think is what you would call it. And so I need to actually dive into this because I think this is going to be the backbone, the spine of the story, which kind of brings me back to the Trellis Method by Grant Ferguson. He has a blog called Tame Your Book. Really great information. And so I think this is like, I'm getting somewhere, is that this is the foundation, the structure, the backbone of my story. So I got the 8 ones. And then you add in all these extra goodies and same with, I have I have the digital version of the Gwen Hayes Romancing Your Beat, and you put in all the filler. And I think that is kind of where the story comes alive, because in superstructure, it doesn't quite have like an inciting incident. It has a disturbance, which is actually like a prelude to the inciting incident, which reminds me of Derek Murphy. He has the 24 chapter plot thing, and I know I have his sheet somewhere, but that kind of goes into where you kind of sprinkle in like foreshadowing that something's going to happen. It's a disturbance, but it's not necessarily the main driver of what's going to propel your character into like the second act. So that's what this is. And then it has like the care package, which is like something that your lead character in its ordinary life cares about and stuff like that. And so kind of going into that. So I'm thinking like, oh, well, maybe my character, I think, will have the main guy. I would say he is my main character. I forgot what they called it, but like I've heard like chief protagonist, or I know the Story Genius called them that your alpha character, whatever. So your main, right? You only can have one, which in romance you're like, but in theory, yeah. And so it's gonna be him because he has the most to change. So, yeah, so he'll have the care package. So I was like, oh, that's another theme, a scene. And then it goes into for the argument against transformations, like the reason why they don't want to change, which then is like the debate in this. And then which is kind of like the no way in romancing your beat. And so I'm like, there's all these different names and they all kind of are like the same, but they're different. And so it's just like, but I'm getting to plot point 1. And then I think I'm going to kind of map everything else and then start listing out the scenes for those beats. And I have a wall, and I'll show you. This is right in front of me. See, we got my desk, and it is into 8 sequences for the 4 acts. And I kind of wrote like where like the pinch point versus like the inkling. And so I'm thinking I need to add more from Save the Cat as well as Superstructure, put those beats in and where they need to go. So I kind of have the first sequence done, which is like with the meet cute and the inciting incident, which actually I need to add the inciting incident because that's going to be different than the disturbance, which is this one here. So I need to add another orange for the inciting incidents. Pink is like the romance. This is like the supernatural, the shifter part, female and male. So I'm thinking I could just kind of fill it all out with like major things that come to mind. And then I'll have like the story in front of me. In terms of the time, it is 8 p.m. on Monday, the 7th of July. And as much as I want to get to the first plot point, I don't know if I should. Like, I'm feeling really good, and so I'm like, ooh, should I take that energy and just do some reading or not? I don't know. Well, I think I'll take a break. I don't want to like push myself and let the like whatever go. I guess what I will do is plan out. I forgot that I was going to try weekly planning back in my author planner. So I'm going to do that. I'll clean up my desk. because that is what I'm going to try to do, is try to be a little more organized to help my brain think with this writing. And of course, 0 words today. But I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I did write some words. And I've been journaling in my writer journal, which this is where it's all like the epiphany is coming. So I think there is something to this. And I know, what's her name? I have the books. Sue Grafton, she wrote like didn't quite make it to A to Z, but she got to A to T or U, something like that, and then she passed, so she didn't quite make it to the alphabet, but she did keep a journal, and so she kind of like wrote through things and stuff like that. And I think there's other people that do story journals, and there might be something to it, because this is where everything was like coming together. So exciting. Okay, I'm gonna go plan my week for probably 20 minutes or so, and then it will be going to bed and reading. I am reading a paperback book. I believe it's called Scandalized by, I want to say like Ivy Owen, something like that. Whatever the book is called. But yeah, and I guess I need to put this video up, so that might be like a tomorrow morning thing, because I'm not really feeling it, unless maybe I could put all the things on through my phone and edit that way. I don't know. We'll find out. But I think that's going to be it for today, Monday. Still no words, but you know, I'm making progress, because hopefully I could draft this weekend and just crank it out. So until tomorrow, bye.